So next we'll have a good look around the student panel. So this is what it looks like when I'm on an individual student, in this case Alice Apple Pie. And this is where you'll spend the majority of your time, because you might set up assignments in the assignment library ahead of time or when you're planning things, but most of the time you'll be managing individual students' assignments during lessons or after, before lessons, that kind of thing. So under active, when we arrive on the student, we see anything that they're currently supposed to be practicing. See, this student has a few different technical exercises, and then they have quite a few pieces, probably more than most students would, but this is a test account, so there's just a lot in there. You can change the order that these assignments show up for your students if you would like to. So by default, it's set to default, and I tend to leave it there personally, but some teachers want to set the exact order for their students. So to do that, you can change it to custom, and then this little icon here, you click on that and you'll be able to drag things around. At any time you can go back to default, and if you go back to custom again, it will load the previous custom order you had, so you can restore that. So you can experiment with that if it's something that you're interested in. Now, in terms of the actual assignments and during lessons, we'll have assignments here, and then we'll usually mark them complete when our student finishes them. So let's say I think Alice is finished working on the A flat major arpeggio for now. I will check the checkbox, hit the checkbox to mark it complete. And now that is going to show up in Alice's completed area. So right here, we can see what she's done. And this shows in reverse chronological order, so you can see the most recent things at the top, and then ages ago, Alice will have completed something else, but you'll have a lot more than this for an active student. If you did that by mistake and you want her still to practice it, you can just hit reassign here, and it'll go back to the active assignment tab. So the student can't see the completed ones, they only see what's active. We also have a third tab here, future. This is for your planning. So there's nothing here right now. Let's say that I put a mixed up song in here during the lesson, but actually we didn't end up getting to it because we got sidetracked by something else. Well, I can quickly put that in the future tab using that dark red clock shape. And now it shows here. So this is just for me to plan it. Nobody sees this. It's not marked complete, and the student can't see it. It's only for us. And we can then put that into the active tab. So you can use this to plan lessons ahead of time or to make adjustments like the one I just gave an example of. So you hit the Move to Active tab button over here, and it'll go to Alice's active assignments. A lot of teachers, or some teachers, also use this Future tab for making a teacher notes section. So Alice notes, or for example, the other day I had one where a student was just letting me know their ratings for various pieces in a book because they're picking and choosing which ones they do. So I was keeping a note of them here because they don't need to see that for their practice. It's going to clutter up their practice area, but I want to have a note that's really handy right there for them. So whatever notes I have there, and I can just put that in the Future tab and just never assign it if I want to just keep notes about something. We do also have a space under the profile, but some teachers prefer to have it right here under the assignments. So that is how the assignments work, and this is where you'll spend the majority of your time. We can also view the student's practice here. So obviously this is a fake account, so there isn't no Alice to actually do the practice, but this will show the data about their practice. We can write messages to them here as well as in the messaging center. Sometimes it's handier to write it while you're on a student's profile. And then you can view their profile details as well. If you have an email address here, all that's used for is if they want to reset their password. So in general, I don't actually use that field. I just have them email me if they have an issue with their password and I reset it for them. But you can also enter the email and they can reset it themselves. You're not able to change the username, so whatever you set that up, whatever it is when you set it up, that's going to have to stay the same. But you do have a space here for any notes you want to write about Alice as well. again, this is only visible to you as the teacher. Now, a couple of quick things about editing your assignments. So as the weeks go on, if Alice is still working on this piece, I'd probably change the practice advice I'm giving her. I might include links to videos or different things. If I want to save a copy of this to my library at any time, I can by checking that box and choosing a folder if you want to. And we also have this extra button here. So this says mark as challenge. I wouldn't use this for pieces or anything like that. This is for longer term projects that are big accomplishments when students complete them. So for example here, the 60-second challenge, or if I do the Minterval challenge or any of our scales challenges, those are all things you can find about on the blog post about the challenge board if you're curious about that. So search for Colourful Keys challenge board if you want to know what I'm talking about there. You can use this in your own way though, and mark anything as a challenge. I would just advise you to use it sparingly. What this does, if I mark this as a challenge, click update. Now if I go here, I'll see it's marked as a challenge, right? So I'm going to mark that complete now. And you'll see that Alice gets a little star on her profile. So there is a maximum number we can display, obviously. If they complete a full ring, we won't be able to go beyond that. Which is why I say use these sparingly. They should be for significant, challenging things like the 30-piece challenge if you do that, or 100 days of practice, or specific sets of scales or other accomplishments like that. And it's just an extra little bonus that they get that star on their profile. Now, if I move this back to her active assignments, it's not complete, that star will go away. So it only applies when they have completed that specific assignment. And it's just another way to give them recognition for a job well done. So that's most things about the student panel and assignments area where you'll spend a lot of your time. Do let us know if you have any questions about it at all.